Screw your chest day, back day, arm day. If you want to make progress, you want to be strong and fit, train like a human being. Stop training your muscles. Join us every morning. Let's go. If you haven't been here before, good morning. I'm Adam. Welcome to day 111 of the 5 a.m. Squat Club, your follow-along morning routine for success. We've got a fantastic session today of bumper plate, ground overhead, and burpees, but we've got 5 steps. So first, let's prime our minds. Join along. First step here, if you need, grab yourself a counterbalance or something that you can hang on to that's stationary, and we're going to come down into what's called our paleo chair, paleo squat, or human poop position. And we want to choose the first words that come out of us in the morning so that we can direct ourselves as opposed to defaulting. So first is, I am responsible. I will take accountability for my life, my successes, my failures, up to me. If I'm going to come and do this project, nobody's going to come and wake me up at 4:30. I have to do it myself. I am responsible for my life. I will make time between stimulus and response. And that's when things come at me that I could react to in a way that I wouldn't be proud of. I want to be able to take time before I give a response so that people around me are getting the best version of me and I'm not losing my shit. Next is I will make time. Next is I have all I need to succeed today and will focus on progress over perfection. That's giving yourself permission to take a step towards your lofty goal. Oftentimes when we see the big goal far off in the distance, we freeze because it's too daunting. So analysis paralysis makes us stop as opposed to taking one step every day, which is the only way to get there. Manageable bite-sized chunks. I will focus on progress over perfection. And then the last one is I choose gratitude. I have a tendency to see the negative and as a result be upset that life is negative. I'm a coach and I have maybe a default to see faults and to try to fix them, but that is not a good way to see things with other human beings in your life. So I try to focus on seeing more and more positive things. You know, everything is perspective. You can see one thing as positive or negative, the same thing from different perspectives. So I will focus on seeing more positive, and as a result, I will be able to see more positive. So I'm responsible. I have all I need to succeed today. We'll focus on progress over perfection. I'll make time between stimulus and response, and I choose gratitude. Perfect. So we've primed our thoughts first. Next, we're going to get the body moving here. We want to increase blood flow, increase the core body temperature, lubricate the joints so when we get into our positions, when we get into our intensity, we feel good, we move well. So first thing here, you can see there's a warm-up coming up on the screen here, just a general. We're going to go with some hip flexor warm-up in the form of knee raises. You can just follow along, I'll do 5 to 10, followed by some good mornings, just a hinge at the hip, waking up everything around the back there, followed by some sort of lunges, maybe a step back lunge, and then some burpees, which we are going to be doing today, and then some squats. So there's the demo. We'll just walk through it here together. If you want, you can do a different warm-up. Feel free to hop on a machine or something if you've got a rower or a bike or something. And we'll talk about functional movements here a little bit. You know, I've been spending a lot more time on YouTube these days with, building community and whatnot. And, the fitness community on there is huge and it's amazing because the more fitness there is, the more people that are taking responsibility for their health and fitness. And as a result, you see a wide variety of different programs and and movements and theories on exercise. And I want to say, unfortunately, we see too many people who were caught up in the bodybuilding world. This is my own opinion, obviously, but in the, whatever it was in the 70s, when Arnold came to North America, training shifted, right? The the whole, what was cool in terms of exercise became very different, and people started training very isolation oriented, like a bodybuilder, like Arnold was. That being said, if you watch something like Pumping Iron, you'll see that they did a lot of heavy work, a lot of squatting and a lot of deadlifting, which seems to have taken a back seat today in the typical kind of bodybuilding world. So what happened there was we went from a style of training that was more focused on human movements and building capacity for life, like the types of things we do here. And then it shifted to, because everybody wanted to look like Arnold, training like him, it shifted to more of this focus on which muscle do I need to work, and started kind of, seeing the body as a sculpture made of clay that you could put clay on or off by isolating certain muscle groups, by doing certain exercises. And you'd see these bodybuilders in the gym being like, yeah, I gotta build more delts, so I'm gonna do more of these. And until I knew any better, that kind of made sense, right? As a young person, I wanted to just look a certain way, so I needed to decide which muscles needed more work, and then put that work in, and then you'd end up with the physique you wanted. But the older I get, and really the shift was once I found CrossFit, 2001 or so, or what was it, 2008, and started understanding that, humans have physical requirements in life, and, if you want capacity to live better, that you should practice the movements and build capacity in the movements that you do in life, and not just ones that you do in the gym. Was I doing their lunges? I don't know. Was that lunges or good mornings? I'm screwed up. So what I've learned over the years, and what I've found is the most effective way, and what you'll see with people who are actual athletes and high performers, is that the isolation movements are rehab, prehab and rehab. They are accessories to the main functional movements. The movements that we do every day, like getting up off the floor, or getting out of a chair, or lifting something onto a shelf, or picking something up off the ground. Real life movements, when you practice them, you end up with more capacity for real life movements, and therefore life becomes easier. Right? My goal here is to be able to do the physical things that I want to do until I die. Therefore, I'm going to continue practicing the movements that I need capacity in for my life. And that might change a little bit person to person based on what their, favorite activities are. But for the most part, I need to squat, I need to pull, I need to push, I need to throw and run. I don't need to curl and kick back and extend, right? I need to support my own load, and external to build capacity. I don't need to be shoved into a machine. We'll take a break on that. We'll talk more during moments of clarity, but let's start talking about today's session. 2 movements as usual, 10 minutes. We're gonna alternate minutes, so you're gonna end up with 5 sets of each movement. Let's talk about them. So movement number 1, one of the most functional movements we do, it's the squat and the deadlift, and this one. So today we're just gonna go with a burpee. Just gonna get myself on the floor. Here's your demo. Obviously just did some in the warm-up. Get yourself up so you can be nice and steady and walk through like that. It can be faster where you hop down, hop up. If that's not accessible, getting all the way down to the floor and then getting all the way back up, elevate your floor a little bit. You can put a mattress down. You could put something taller like this box down. And basically what you're doing is you're gonna lay down on that higher surface, and then you're gonna get yourself back up. And then over time, you're gonna lower that down till eventually you're getting up off the floor, because it's so necessary. Movement number 2 is going to be a ground to overhead. I'm going to use this bumper plate, but I'm going to show you a bunch of different options here. So this is just taking something from the ground, putting it overhead. On the farm, this happens all the time in the form of feed bags or buckets, anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go like to the floor here or just like that, but touch it to the ground. And my thought is bring it to the hips, because the hips are the driver of all things in the body, and then drive with the hips. Overhead, I'm looking for a nice straight arm in line with the body, ideally. So to the hips, to the floor, start standing, bring it to the hips, drive it overhead. When you're overhead, squeeze the butt, squeeze the abs, be in a nice straight line. If you don't have a bumper plate, let's just start at step one. You have no load or you're brand new to exercise, touch the floor, touch the ceiling, just use your arms. And then if you want to be somewhere in between there, you could use a dumbbell. I'm going to use two hands though, dumbbell to the ground to the hips and then overhead. I could use a sandbag or a medicine ball, child, anything, dog. The dog would be brutal. So take a minute now if you need, grab some water, clear out your space, make sure you have enough space to get down on the ground and get back up. You know, grab some load if you have for the ground to overhead. If you've got all that ready, like the video, subscribe, think about someone you could share this with, and then maybe leave a comment below. Would you prefer more lives? I am considering doing more, potentially all lives, but for now, let's do this. So burpees, ground overhead. If you're new, you want to choose an amount of time here that you're gonna be able to maintain. So about 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest is a good starting point. If you find that that's not enough, bring it up a little bit. If it's too much, bring it down. All right, it's time. Where's my stopwatch here? Here we go. All right, day 111, burpees, plate ground overheads or something ground overhead. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. Start with 10, see how that goes. This is gonna be a high heart rate one. I can feel it. I'm gonna go 10 with the ground overhead as well. Go from there. 2 point, go. Whoop. Let's see if we can add one each round. Unique Doug. 501. No tap. 5, 3, 2. 11. 10 seconds. We're going. Watch out, dog. 3, 2, 1. Eleven. 4 down, 6 to go. 10. 5, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, those are getting long. Halfway. 12. 14, the last one. 3, 2, 1. 12. 10 seconds. You guys are doing awesome. 5, 3, 13. 10 seconds. Those are taking a long time. 5, 3, 2. One more set of each. Good job. One more set of burpees. One more set of ground overhead. 15. 10. Try 15 burpees. 3, 2, last round. Ow. All right, go on. Great job. Catch your breath. Walk around, get some water. All right, amazing work. That's functional movement right there, right? Getting off the floor, lifting something overhead, real life. So let's get into a stretch here. We'll get into the posterior chain a little bit. So what we'll do, sit out on the floor, legs straight out. Look at that. That bumper plate fell on my leg. It's purple right away. Holy crap, I don't know if you can see that. But, so what you'll do, this thing's the worst. Take one leg, they're not gonna be, maybe let's go. Here, stop. Across one leg, across, stop it. I'm just gonna lean forward a little bit, looking for a stretch in the bent knee hip. And we can talk a little bit more, you are the worst, about functional movements, real life movements. You know, I trained a couple 90-year-olds and all we do, I mean, I only see them once or twice a week, so we don't necessarily, stop it. So we need to be most effective and efficient, and that's kind of what we're doing here too, right? If I had multiple hours to train, I might do a little bit of that extra stuff too to add on to this, but this would be the base. So with those elderly people, those 90-year-olds, that's all we do. We do burpees, we walk because that's challenging, we do squats, we do presses, and that's basically it. Because if you lose your capacity for those things, it doesn't matter what your freaking bicep looks like if you can't get up off the toilet, or if you can't go play with your grandkids, or I'm not there yet, but someday I might have grandkids and I'd like to be able to have the capacity to play with them. I'd like to be able to have the capacity of showing them, hey, like grandpa, or at least dad, you know, can still go do those farm things, can still look like a strong, capable person, not look like, act like, do the things that a strong, capable, let's switch sides here. Do the things that a strong, capable person could do. Set that example, right? I would, if it were up to me and if I had the choice, and this is not the way it works because functional movements will make you fit, but if I had the choice between being functional and looking fit, you know, if the functional option, you don't look fit, I would take the functional option every day. That's obviously neglecting the potential for, you know, if you're not looking fit and you're fat or whatever, you know, maybe there's risk of diabetes and all that. But take all that out of the equation. If it's just up to, you either look fit or you are fit, that's not a question. Coach Glassman, the founder of CrossFit, used to say, would you rather have perfect numbers, your measurements that the doctor takes for blood pressure and triglycerides and all the blood markers and whatnot? Would you prefer to have perfect blood markers but be laying in a hospital bed eating green jelly all day, or have markers that doctors would typically consider not good, or people around you would consider not ideal, but you have capacity in life? I take that second option any day. It's the same idea as like, well, I can say a thing, but if I don't do it, I'm just a liar. Just do the thing, right? Take the option that gives you the life, not the look. On that, we need to make progress outside of our fitness. Maybe you're making progress with your fitness and your homework, but it's homework time. So we've primed our minds, primed our bodies. I'm jacked up. I got a little injury to prove it. But now you got to sit down and do your work. You've got a goal, right? It's start a new business. It's, build a new project. It's whatever, read a book, just improve your knowledge and your skill. Whatever that goal is requires focus. That time is never going to come to you. You're never going to find it. So what we do every morning at, turn on clock, at 5 o'clock, quarter after 5, when we're done this, we sit down. I do a couple hours until the girls wake up. It might be an hour, it might be 5 hours. It might be your whole work day chunked into the morning, set aside. You will, stop it. You'll be amazed at how effective, efficient you can be once you define your goal and the action step and you take that every day. You'll be amazed at how quickly you start getting there. So on that note, we are here live tomorrow. We're here live Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Videos every other day. All you got to do is join us. What have I missed? Share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But I'll see you tomorrow, because all there is to it is to do it. Let's get it. Love you guys and gals. Check out how cool it is outside. The heat wave is currently over. It is cooling down. Oh yeah, it's chilly. A little chilly. Getting a little bit of sun coming up. Have yourselves a fantastic day, team. Let's go.